When I finally got out of the makeups back in 2004, I had aged. My face had aged, and I was very young looking for many years, and I looked like a boy. But when I came out of the makeup in 2004, I had matured. My face had finally matured, and I looked a little bit like the American actor George C. Scott when he was young. And I looked a little bit like the English actor Trevor Howard, a little bit like Klaus Kinski, a little bit Vincent Price. So what's been happening for me is, because I'm a celebrity in the horror movies and in science fiction, I stepped into those great roles that Vincent Price and Klaus Kinski were doing. And so now I'm playing Van Helsing characters and old professors and doctors, and I'm playing, you know, like sometimes I'm the wise old doctor or the mad scientist, you know, and these parts are terrific because I get a lot of screen time, and I'm still starring in movies, so it's just been this great happy accident. If I would have stayed with the career I had back in the 70s, I was always playing the best friend, the sidekick, and I was doing a lot of comedy. Those kind of roles don't age as well as the genre roles that I've sort of stumbled into. And they're really fun. I mean, I've got to tell you, it's really fun being the old stepfather, or the old poacher, or the old scientist. You know, these are great roles that I probably never would have been able to play had I kind of taken another direction in my career. So Freddy's been very good to me. It was supposed to be a two-parter, and the second script actually took place in contemporary New York, and the Phantom lived beneath the streets of New York. If you saw that film Mimic, the wonderful Guillermo del Toro movie Mimic, we were going to be in the ancient underground subway stations, and the Phantom was going to be living in a turn-of-the-century train car with his little Artful Dodger homeless boy. There's actually people that live underneath the subways of New York. They're called the Mole People. They've been down there for years and years and years. There's a whole little city down there, because it goes on forever, because they don't use some of the old tunnels. And so they were going to have me living down there. And I hear a girl sing, a busker. You know the movie Once, the people that perform, the people that wait in line for plays, or the street performers. She was a girl that sang in the subway. I hear this girl singing in the subway, accompanied by a violin, and it's a beautiful blind girl and her immigrant father on the violin. And I hear her voice, and it's the voice for my opera. It's the voice for the music that Eric is writing. And she's blind. She doesn't see that I'm disfigured. And I train her, and I give her my music, and she starts singing my music in the subway. And she's discovered by the New York City Opera Company. And they get her an operation for her eyes, and so she can see again. And of course, I watch her opening night at the opera, and then I can't let her see me, even though I'm in love with her. And the last shot of the movie was me walking down Fifth Avenue in a snowstorm, and I open a manhole cover in the street, and I go back underneath the surface of the city. So that was the second movie. I was so excited to do both of those. And we never got around to making the second one because there were ownership disputes with the writer and the producers, Menachem Golan and the producers from 21st Century. So I never got to do it. I just did the first one, which was fun, you know. We had so much superheroes for so long that somebody said, you know, it's time to be cynical again. And so that's why I think the success of Deadpool and Suicide Squad. I don't know if you haven't seen Deadpool, you have to watch Deadpool 3 times to get all the jokes. There's so many jokes per minute. And the more you watch it, the more you realize how great Ryan is in that movie. And he's amazing in that movie. Amazing stuff. And smart and funny and punk and nasty and scary and good. Plus, I have a big crush on Marina Baccarin. Who doesn't, right? Okay. Next question. Hollywood kid, you guys. I was born in the Hollywood Hills, so I understand sequels and remakes. You guys understand that your grandparents, all the movies they saw were remakes of silent movies. See? So they've always been remaking movies. Plus, there's always going to be original stories to tell, but there's still only a certain amount of real stories around the campfire. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy, boy dies, girl dies, boy meets boy, whatever. There's only X amount of real good stories. And we retell them every generation or so. There's kids that are, I know when I take them to see black and white movies, I can take them to see a black and white movie that they like, but they won't do it on their own. So we have to remake some of the black and white movies. And with the new technologies, that prompts people to reinvest in new sequels or remakes, because maybe they didn't have a good enough budget. Now, when I saw that they were remaking Nightmare on Elm Street, I was actually kind of excited because I thought I had just seen, what's Inception? What's the one, the effects in that film, with the buildings and everything, almost like M.C. Escher. Well, I thought, oh, that's a great effect to use in the new Nightmare film. Maybe with the house that Nancy lives in, have it kind of do all that weird stuff. And plus, I know with that Robin Williams movie, When Dreams May Come, with the paintings all come alive and everything, I thought, well, if there's a new version of that effect, that would be great for the new Nightmare on Elm Street. So then I go see the movie, and they just did art effects digitally. It's the same effects from the original done digitally. And, we didn't have any money. That's me sticking my face through cheesecloth over Nancy's bed. They're just two guys holding the piece of cheesecloth, and I'm just going boom, boom. But it works, with the crucifix on the wall and the right lighting, it worked. They spent $1 million doing that effect. Not really, but they spent a lot of money on that effect. I'll bet they spent $200,000 on that effect. We spent $1.95. Went to Home Depot and bought some stretchy cloth, and it worked. So I wish they would have used more technology in the Nightmares. A lot of those people in that cast are great actors. Rooney Mara is a terrific actor. She's been nominated for Oscars. I know Clancy Brown. We do a lot of cartoon voices together. I thought Connie Britton was very well cast from Friday Night Lights and from Nashville as the mother. I thought the blonde girl was too old, but the Tina character, I just thought that actress was too old. But I love a lot of those actors. Kyle Gallner is a terrific actor. You remember him from Jennifer's Body? A great young guy. He did an episode of Criminal Minds with me. He's brilliant in it. He's like a young Dennis Hopper. So I like the cast, but they reshot the opening. And I like the new opening in the movie, but what it does is it casts a pall over the whole film. All the kids are already haunted from the get-go. You need to see the kids discovering that they're all having the same dream. You need to know that the kids are not, that you need to see them happy before they become tainted with the curse of Freddy. And, or you don't invest emotionally with them quite enough. And also, the makeup is so real on Jackie. That makeup is so real. Freddy only lives in your subconscious, in your imagination. So, in a perfect world, if I had a huge budget, and I had 4 kids that are all dreaming of Freddy, I'd have different Freddys for each kid. Now, he'd still be wearing a sweater, but every sweater would be a little different. Maybe one sweater would have buttons in the front. It would be striped, but it would have buttons in the front. Maybe the hat would be a little different on each of them. Maybe some of the Freddys would be completely melted, and some of them barely burned at all. the claw, maybe some of the knives would be extremely long, even longer than Edward Scissorhands, or some of them would be just short, like a woman's fingernails. So I mean, I think because it's in the imagination. Freddy's something you've heard whispered about, something you've heard about at a campfire or whispered about. Freddy's not something that's real, walking around in the alley in Amsterdam. And they made Jackie's makeup so real that they destroyed the nose, like would happen in, you know, this is all adipose fat tissue and cartilage. This would all be burned off, so the nose would burn. There's not a, this isn't really a bone, it's cartilage. But what did they do when they did that? You see Freddy in profile a lot, and he has to have strength in his profile. You see him in shadow and silhouette a lot. So you need the strength of that nose. That's part of the profile, and that's part of the effect of the imagination. And they robbed Jackie of that strength in his profile by designing the makeup that way. Now that's just something you don't realize until you make the movie. But in hindsight, I think that really hurt the character. So those are sort of my recent analysis of the last Nightmare on Elm Street.